second section, I'm going to just give you a brief overview of a case study from my own experience, which was when I was working for Canada Safeguarding Children's Board. I was working with the Somali community there, and the issues that we were finding was there was just disproportionate amount of young people being referred to safeguarding from the above community. There were issues around faith, witchcraft, physical abuse. There was also issues around FGM, families taking their girls back to Somalia, having this procedure done, and then coming back to England. And all of these obviously led to an increase in child protection issues, which had led to an increase in suspicion and hostility between social workers, or Somali community and social workers to be more accurate. So what I was tasked with was working with that community to run workshops with them to kind of like work around the issues that were coming up. So I worked with this absolutely lovely individual who was very highly esteemed within the Somali community in the borough, and she basically ran workshops, invited people, and then brought me in to come and do some work with them. And the work that I did with them was workshops around this understanding of child abuse and its definitions, what the law in the UK says about children, so the rights of the child, Children's Act, etc. Frequently there was comments of, oh well, when I was in Somalia, if I did something naughty, my parents or even, parents' friends would give me a clip round the ear and tell me I was doing something wrong. Whereas over here, if I threatened to even touch my child would say, I'm going to tell the teacher that you hit me. So there were issues like this that were coming up, and there was kind of a schism developed between young people and their parents, carers. So we discussed thresholds for social services taking action, when thresholds were met. We discussed issues with them around what significant harm was and how that was actually decided. And we basically were working to build trust and representation between the community and children's social services. I would bring in social workers to come and discuss with the community issues that they had. And the results of this were they developed a greater understanding of the law affecting young people in the UK. And importantly, there was an increased amount of children in need meetings and referrals, and a decrease in the amount of child protection cases coming from the Somali community, because they were identifying things early and they were going to seek help and they were going to seek support at an earlier stage. So there was also an increased amount of parents from the community receiving support for their own issues as well as their young people's issues. It might have been depression, or it might have been mental health issues for the adults, or it might have been all kinds of different things. Cat use, which is a substance which Somalis use. It acts like a stimulant, a bit like coffee, but stronger. So the community were trained in understanding the basics of child protection and also child development. Difference between child protection for an adolescent, child protection for a baby, for example. Just thinking about how these issues affect young people and when social services may or may not get involved. So on the basis of that, we produced information and animation in Somali for this community. There was me going out there working with different centres to make sure that we targeted different Somali cultural groups and made sure they had advice, support and health services available to them, and it was in the language that was useful, appropriate for them as well. So to summarise, embedding AJEDI is so important that it ensures safeguarding is safe, fair and truly centred on the needs of the young people. Think of the circle with the dot with a young person in the centre. That's always my view. Make sure that we're solution focused, we identify needs, and that we basically actively engage groups that might be traditionally marginalised or stigmatised, and make sure they're all receiving a service from us. So safeguarding and AJEDI are inseparable. Young people only feel really safe when they feel valued, treated fairly, and I would make sure that those AJEDI principles are integrated very firmly in all the work that I do, and that includes training, and that also includes making decisions around whether we should be referring a case forwards to social services or to escalate a situation. There's a little picture of me. As you can see, I'm a brown Asian male. Spoiler alert, I look a bit older than I do in this picture. Um, one of the things that I just wanted to mention is that I now live in Rotherham, and as my lived experience as an Asian male, you probably know there are a lot of cases of child sexual abuse, grooming that were done by Asian males in these areas. I've got a daughter. When I'm in a playground or something, I'm so aware that I am an Asian male. And if any children come up and want to talk to me or whatever, I do feel like, other parents may be feeling a bit suspicious of me because that I love children. I love interacting with children because I love the way their minds work. Uh, that sort of sense of belonging or identity. I'm just aware that, that I have that slight difference, and it makes me a bit more cautious in the way that I interact with children because I feel that the parents might be a bit more cautious of me because of my race and ethnicity. Whether that's a good or bad thing, I don't know. I mean, for me, I feel like slightly excluded because of that, or slightly more aware of my differences because of that. But that's just the way it is, and I totally accept that parents always want to make sure that their children are absolutely safe and well with whoever they are with. That's my presentation. I look forward to seeing you shortly for the actual interview. Thank you.